I'm going to pass away. R.I.P. Dallas. Oh my gosh. All right, well, welcome to the Goodish Girls, guys. My name is Dallas, and we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Anthony Palmini, the voice of Kingfisher, Carry-On, many other characters within Quicksilver, and also Rasan from the dramatized version of ACOTAR. Welcome to our show.
All true, all true. Happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I'm trying to fangirl professionally, so we're doing great over here.
Doing great. You're doing great.
It's amazing. So thank you for being on our show. Okay, so you were the voice. You were the voice in Quicksilver, and now
Yes.
you're doing the bonus chapters, which are coming
Yes.
out. Which I love Quicksilver with all my heart, but the bonus chapters are my Roman Empire. I think about them all the time.
Oh,
So
wow.
I cannot wait. We actually are releasing tonight at midnight our deep dive into the bonus chapters.
Oh, wow.
So when I heard that you were recording them and releasing them, dreams are coming true. I didn't know that was a thing that would be happening. So it was a wonderful surprise. But I do want to kind of step back just a little bit and get to know you a little bit and
Sure.
audiobook narration, because I feel like it's such an underrated thing. And I feel like you guys do such a wonderful job. And I want to kind of bring it to light a little bit and appreciate you guys, because especially with this book, Quicksilver, there has never been a book where when I recommend it to somebody,
Yeah.
I'm like, you can read it, but you should just listen to it. Right. And there's never been
Right.
someone that's talking to me and recommending a book where they're like, maybe don't just read it, maybe just listen to it first, because you did such a wonderful job at bringing those characters to life.
Oh, thank
What
you.
made you want to get into this? How did audiobook narration find you?
It definitely found me because I didn't even think about it. I was trying, early in my career, I was doing a lot of comedy stuff. I was doing improv, live stage improv,
Yeah.
and then doing just a lot of that stuff. And then I decided to get into voice acting.
Hmm.
And by chance, someone had posted, I think it was on Twitter, that they were opening their voice roster for graphic audio. And I was like, I'll submit there. I've never done audiobook. Sure, why not? And then
Yeah.
the way that they were doing it was more like a play. It was more like, their slogan is a movie in your mind. And so there was, not just one narrator, but the characters. There was
Hmm.
different voice actors for the characters. So that way it did feel more like a movie in your mind. And
Right.
so that was my introduction to audiobooks in that even in that genre, because the first ones that I got were still kind of sci-fi, still kind of not in the romantasy genre, any of
Hmm.
that stuff. And then by chance, I had, put my hat in for Resand, not knowing anything about that. And
Like
then
ACOTAR at all, or any
I
of
don't
that
know,
series?
I didn't know anything about that, anything about that.
Wild.
And so
Wow.
they were like, "Wow, we really would love for you to play this part." And I was like, "Great." And I didn't even look at it. I was just like, "All right, when I get the book, I'll deep dive into the book. I'll
Hmm.
know what my character is. I'll know what I have to do." But other than that, didn't research any of the popularity of it, anything of that, which I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, it might have been overwhelming. People are very serious about
Oh,
ACOTAR.
yeah. It was like
Very
it wasn't
serious.
until after it was released where the director was like, "So, did you see the good reviews?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, let me check it out." And then I kind of went down a little rabbit hole. I was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it's
this
like
is."
it's iconic, and your voice on there is also iconic, right? And I
Thank
mean,
you.
same thing for Quicksilver too. Like your voice is viral all the time. Is that
Thank
like,
you.
is that overwhelming for you now that you've been at it for a while, or is it still new, or are you pretty used to it?
I
Like
don't
hearing your voice on TikTok, or do you hear your voice on TikTok? Does it ever pop up on your
It
phone?
does, sometimes it does. I'm like, "Oh, wait, that's me."
You're like, hold on, I know
"Hold
that
on a
voice.
second, I know that voice. That's a funny video, and wait, that's my voice."
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I don't feel overwhelmed. I think I'm just not, like, it doesn't compute in that way yet where I'm
Hmm.
just I understand and I'm super grateful that I was able to bring these characters to life and do them justice,
Right.
but it doesn't get to the point where I'm just like, "This is too much," or, um, there really is no pressure per se because for everything that I've chosen, I try to stick close to what I feel looking at the character, what I can bring. and so I'm never, like, comparing myself to anybody, although
Yeah.
sometimes it does happen where I'm just like, "What other male audiobook narrators are there?" And I'm just, like, super like, "Oh, man, that's really good. I don't know if I can do that." But then I'm like, "Well, but that's their style. Everybody has
Mhm.
their voice." So, just super grateful, like, every time somebody's posts something or does something saying talking about my performance, I'm just like, "This is crazy. This is this is so
It's a little
crazy."
surreal, yeah.
Yeah,
No, you and again, you do an amazing job. So, and they're gonna keep
thank you.
sharing it, they're gonna keep going viral, and even when the bonus chapters come out and Brimstone comes out, it's gonna get even further, I'm sure. I have 0 doubt in my mind.
I hope, yeah,
0
let's
doubt.
try it.
That's amazing. Are you a big reader outside of recording?
What's funny is that I was when I was, like, in high school and
Mhm,
younger, but then I took a break, and then now I'm sort of a reader based off of my job because I'm doing so many audiobooks now that
mhm.
I'm reading these books and I'm just like, "Wow, I've really taken time off," and just reading it again, I'm like, "Yeah, I should really start reading other stuff that I've
Yeah.
probably missed out on." So, now it's kinda getting me into that, but
Mhm.
even then, like, work-wise, I'm jumping from one to the other that I'm like, "I would love to nope, gotta g read this book now, gotta learn this book
Right.
now."
So
So
did you read Quicksilver, or did you just record it? Like,
so
do you
what's good is that they kinda give us, like, an overall idea of what the book is, and
Mhm,
I like to read the book as I'm recording. So I'll read the first chapter, kinda get an idea of what it is that the characters are and where we're
mhm.
going, and then I'll go back and I'll start recording, just so
Oh,
that way
okay,
I
yeah.
know, "Oh, okay, this is going to happen," so I know that
Mhm.
I have to get ready for the stuff, especially when I'm doing the other voices as well, because it's like Carrion and Kingfisher are very different characters, so I
Mhm.
try to just when I read the chapter, I'm like, "Okay, that's gonna happen, he's gonna say that, oh, that'll be nice if I kinda say it this way, and then,
Yeah,
oh, okay, this is happening with this character, okay, when I go back, I'll do that." So, that's
that
kinda
makes
how I do it.
sense. So when you're reading that chapter and you're recording it, are you Kingfisher for one moment and then you're carrying for the next moment and then back and forth? Or are you recording all of Kingfisher's lines and then a separate recording all of Carrion's lines? What's
No,
easier for
I
you?
go back and forth. I love just, like, playing that one bouncing off one character
Wow.
to the
Do
other,
you
yeah.
ever accidentally switch character voices for the line and have
All
to,
the
like,
time.
go back and redo
All the time,
it?
because I'll be like, "Okay, oh, no, that makes sense. Yeah, he would never say that. Why am I doing that in that voice?" So,
That's
it's
hilarious. Yeah, Kingfisher's like, "Did you see that smoking hot blonde?"
yeah.
No, just kidding. That's to be
That
carrying. Oh,
that's
that's
carrying.
so
Wait a
funny.
minute. Yeah.
So, you said that you kinda got into this, it kinda found you a little bit. We hadn't
Yeah.
read ACOTAR, so like the Plated Prisoner series, did you reach out to that? Or did they reach out to you for that? Because that's a big series as well. It's a big book.
Yeah, that was another one that they liked what I did, and, they sent me kind of like an idea of what the whole story arc was, and I was like, "Oh, man, that sounds super interesting."
Mhm.
And, I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And same thing, I just started reading it as I was going and kind of, seeing all the twists and turns. I'm like, "Wow, this is really good," as we were going through book from book to book.
Yeah, that's awesome. So another question I had is when you are given these books, are you told what accent each character will have in advance, or is that something that you and the author kind of decide on? So like when you're reading Quicksilver, I would
Mm,
never in my life thought Renfist sounded how he sounds. But then when you
yeah.
are listening to the book, you're like, "Oh, look at this wonderful accent that this character has." And it's such a huge part of his character that
Yeah,
even when I read it now, I only read it in his voice,
his
your
voice.
voice, right?
Oh.
So
Yeah,
if that so are you do you know in advance?
I think for that one, yeah, I think that was a note that they were like, "Let's try this. Let's try to give this type of accent." I don't think
Okay.
that there was a book where I just gave an accent unless they gave me free range to, like, there's some books where they're like, "You can put this type of accent on it," and
Mhm.
then it'll be up to me if I'm like, "Okay, we're in, like, 5th chapter, I've done, like, 7 male voices, I don't want this character to
Yeah.
sound the same, and I could probably, add a little accent to it," but
Mhm.
for that one in particular, I think it was they told me that that was the accent that I should
Okay.
try for if I could do it, and I was like, "Alright," and I tried it,
And
I'll
you
do
did
it.
a great job. 10 out of 10. 5
Thank you,
stars.
thank you.
So, no, Alyssa and I love Renfist, and if I in our previous episodes, like I think we talk about you at least once in every episode, and we every time we bring up Renfist, we bring up like his amazing, like his voice and his accent and how sweet he is. So and the character alone as well. So thank
Ah,
you for bringing
cool.
that. Thank you for bringing Renfist to life for us. He's very special.
Oh, yeah, I love
Is
Renfist.
there any dream roles or like dream characters that you have in mind? If not, I have some suggestions. But I
Oh,
want to I,
really?
I want to
Oh,
see
okay.
your Alyssa and I were talking about the other day and I was like, "You know what? I want to hear this voice."
I
So, do you
think
have any?
I don't have a particular one. I think I just really like challenging myself. Like, I love books where they give me multiple characters because, again, I think it's the improv background where
Mhm.
I love to play scenes where I'm really 2 different characters and
Yeah.
how I can keep that going, how I can be a silly character, a sinister character, a hero, an anti like, if I can
Mhm.
do all of that in a book, I eat that up. I'm like, "Yes, give
Yeah.
me more of that." So I don't think that there's a particular well, growing up, I was a big fan of Superman, so if I ever get to do, like, a Superman voice for
Oh, that's
any
yeah, definitely.
or a Superman type character,
That would be
that'd be
amazing.
nice.
You could
So
totally do that. I don't know, have you I don't know because you now know the ACOTAR area. Did you go any further into that series as far as, like, reading as far as, like, Crescent City, things like that?
I think just for time, I was trying to get into it, but then again, they had called me to do I don't know if this is spoilers, but there are some he does come into one of those books. Rhysand
Mhm, he
does,
sure does. Yeah, no, I think most people who listen to our
He
podcast
goes,
have probably
"Okay."
have
I
listened to
just
that,
wanted
yeah,
to make sure, yeah.
and that was gonna be kind of my line is, like, in Crescent City, he's the right, he Rysand goes into there in the 3rd book,
Yeah.
but I think that you would bring Hunt Athalar to life or Rune Dannon to life, which are 2 very,
Oh,
like, big, like, book boyfriend, shadow daddy characters that are in
okay.
those books, and I don't know if other people, your producers are listening, whatever, but we were requesting you to be those 2 characters.
Hey,
That's my dream for you.
yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
I think you would do a great job, and I don't think they have a dramatized version of that
Not
yet, from
yet.
what I could
Not yet,
see.
yeah, not yet. I don't think
Well,
so.
you should submit that because I think that you would be fabulous at it.
Oh,
And then
thank you.
you could be more than one character in that, right? Because you could still be
Yeah,
Rysand, and then you could do other things
another
as well.
character.
And there's a lot of, like, really good other characters on there that you would do a great job with.
Ah, I gotta check that out, thank you.
It would be amazing. More dreams coming true one day, don't worry. So my other question is, so it's you, and then in Quicksilver specifically, it's Stella Bloom. Do
Yes.
you work with her at all? Are you guys working together? Are you separate the entire time? Is there like any conversation at all about how the line should be portrayed together?
So we record separately. I record in my home studio, she records at her home studio as well.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think, our Podium is really good at kind of getting all the material that we need as far as, like, where are we gonna go with this?
Hmm.
How are we matching up? And so if there's ever a moment where, we're kinda coming up to something, we could always email each other and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this chapter, or what are we gonna do for that specific, moment?" But we
Yeah.
kind of we're kinda good with, uh, doing things separately, but having it sound like we're not.
No, it sounds like you guys are in the same room
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
right? Like standing side by side.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. What an amazing talent to have. What was your favorite character to voice that was not Kingfisher? Because we all know that Kingfisher is like the favorite, but in that book specifically, who did you really resonate with?
Oh, resonate, okay. I was gonna say a fun one was, what is his name? Is it Archer,
Oh
the
my
small
gosh.
sprite?
Okay, Archer is we love that little fire sprite.
Yeah.
He can do 0 wrong.
Yeah.
Poor little man has anxiety on fetal position all the time. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Amazing.
he was fun because, by the time we got to that chapter, I was like, "Okay," I was reading, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fun kind of different flavor of character to voice."
Mhm.
Um, and I also had fun with Carrion. Carrion is just so it's just so fun to play that type of character who is
Yeah.
just quick-witted and trouble is gonna start when he is
Mhm.
around. So I really liked bringing his character to life as
Oh,
well.
yeah, that's amazing. I love that. We we do a lot of speculating and theorizing on our podcast over here, and so we're trying to figure out obviously what's going to happen in Brimstone.
Mhm.
eh, because of the bonus chapters, which again, our episode's releasing tonight at midnight. So if you, it's our deep dive into the bonus chapters. So if you haven't read them, please go read them so you
Yes.
know what we're talking about. But we think that obviously there's going to be dragons in the next book, and I know
Mm,
you have not received the book, so
mm-mm.
you don't.
I have no
There's no
idea.
secrets that you have
Yeah.
to tell us, which is fine. But we think there's going to be dragons, and so our hope is that Carrion's going to talk to a dragon, and what we like. I wonder what he would say to said dragon.
Right,
I'm
right,
pretty sure it would be real sassy, and I think he would probably ask to ride the dragon, but
right.
if you have any thoughts on what Carrion might say,
That
you
would
can
be
tell us.
amazing. That would be amazing. Even in the bonus chapters, there is this moment where, I don't wanna spoil it, but there is this interaction between I guess we can say that, right? There's an
Yeah,
interaction
the bonus
between.
chapters are out. They are online. We are going to post it. We have them in the show notes that on the episode we're posting tonight. And then the audio version of that does come out July 1st. So yes, you can say all things bonus
Okay.
chapters. Let's talk about it.
So the interaction that he has, with, Kingfisher and Carrion when they have the interaction with each other is just like I'm like, "Oh my god. I please, I want more of these scenes," because it's just so funny to have, like, one very serious and brooding character and the other character just like, "So did you bring me boots?" Like, like, those
Yeah,
those big
right.
line and
He's like, you have to take a
so,
bath
yeah.
to
So
get the
so
boots.
I love that interaction, and so, you know, we'll see what that brings for Brimstone and
Yeah.
what.
I think he's gonna find his boots, the original pair. This is my theory, and so he
Oh,
lost his boot, right? One boot is lost. He had the other boot. Then he took off that one boot and then got a brand new pair, which were Kingfisher's father's boots, right? So I think in
yes,
Brimstone, he's gonna find the
the
other
other
boot, and
boot.
then he will have two pairs of boots. That's my theory. I hope it's in there.
That would be funny.
So the Netflix film is happening, right? Kelly
Yeah,
Hart has a deal with Netflix where they're making a film and turning Quicksilver onto the big screen.
crazy.
You brought this character to life in a wild, amazing way. If you could cast one person as Kingfisher, do you have an actor or person in mind? If you don't, it's
Ah,
okay. But I mean, you know this voice better than anybody else.
yeah, that's tough. I really it's so crazy because, yeah, I don't even know who.
It's a tough role to fill
It's tough,
because it's
it's
such a unique
tough.
voice.
Yeah, and it's just the character itself, it's you definitely have to find somebody that can pull off that brooding,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sex appeal,
Yeah.
but also has that heart underneath all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Who
They
do
should
you do you have anybody in
I don't have
mind?
anybody in my what I want in a perfect world is they cast somebody and then they put, like, your like, a voiceover, right? So you record all the lines and then they, like, lip
I
sync it
dub it. I
basically.
dub I
Yeah, you
dub the
dub it.
American voice.
Right, exactly, and so that way the voice matches the person,
There we
right?
go.
All the things all is right in the world. That's
Hey, I'd be up for that. I would
I think
definitely
that'd be
be up for
great.
that. Yeah.
We can submit it.
That would be like a bonus feature for Netflix. Is like the
Yes,
original voice dubbing the actor
I would watch
on
it.
screen.
I would watch it. I'm gonna watch it anyways, but I would for sure watch it then. I'd be
That'd
like,
be
"I know
awesome.
this voice." How funny. So when you were recording either Quicksilver or the bonus chapters, aside
Mhm.
from the like boot scene, was there a scene that you thought was really funny or that you had trouble recording because you were laughing so hard? Because there are quite a few scenes in the book that are pretty hilarious.
I think the one that it was so funny because it was so short, but I had to pause because I was like, "Oh, that's really funny and clever," was when Carrion named the sword.
He looks like a Simon.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because I'm reading it as I'm, like, taking down notes, and I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, oh my god," and I started recording that, and then the first try, I was just laughing. I was like, "This is so ridiculous, it's so funny,"
That's
but
hilarious.
of course he would, so
Yeah,
that
you have, like,
was
Nimrel and all these are, like, really awesome named swords, and looks like a Simon.
Simon.
Yep,
So
that's fair.
that one really got to me, and then, um I don't know, I think, yeah, I'm trying to think of any other ones, but definitely that I can remember that had stopped me, like, I had to actually stop recording
Mhm.
because I was just laughing. I was like, "Okay, I'm wasting time just
Wasting
recording my
recording
laugh."
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of laughs, so I don't know if you remember this scene. It's something that I went on for a while in one of our older episodes. That in the book, Sarah says Kingfisher laughed for the first time, like a real laugh, and she was like so excited to hear it.
Yeah.
And I wondered why they didn't have you laugh in the moment so we could hear the wonderful laugh that she was resonating with. I was like, but
Yeah.
where is the laugh? Is
Yeah.
that something that you can request to put in, right? So, like, you're reading along and then you're like, "He laughed," right? And it was
Mhm,
amazing. Have you
mhm.
ever been like, "Oh, it would be cool if my character actually laughed in this moment," and then requested it? Or is that something that's, like, very taboo?
That's a good question. I don't know either way. I don't think I requested it, and I don't know if they would be against it,
Mhm.
but yeah, I guess those are one of those things where I'm just following the directions by the book.
Right. So,
So,
and then
there was no highlighted to, like, add laughter, so I was like, "Alright, not adding any
and
laughter."
that was gonna be my next question. Is it like they can't type "ha ha ha ha," so is there, like, insert laugh here, insert sigh here? Like, how does that work behind the scenes?
It varies. Sometimes they might kind of send an email out and say, "Hey, these are specific moments that we would like to capture." Other times, it could just be the voice actor who, does it just to kinda get into it, and then they might keep it in. So it
Yeah.
varies. It kinda varies between projects, but it's never like a no or a definite. So
Mhm. Yeah, for
that's a
sure.
good thing to
I'm throwing
maybe.
all the I'm throwing all the difficult ones at you
Yeah.
today.
No, well, not only that, but to keep in mind for the next book to just be like, "Hey, maybe I might add that in
Yeah,
there and see if
I
they
I
keep it
feel
in."
like you've been in the industry for this long enough and you've made a name for yourself in this industry that I feel like you could be like, "I would like a laugh here," right? Like, a lot of actors on the big screen, they just throw a line out,
Right,
right? That's not in
right.
the script, and then they are like, "Oh, we like that, we wanna keep it." So, I feel like you could do that. Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
anything with confidence.
yeah, I'll try it out.
Just wing it till you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
How long did it take you from start to finish to record Quicksilver? Because I know that you said that and we can edit this out if it's not correct, but you're gonna get Brimstone maybe at the end of summer. Is that
Yeah,
correct? And then
yeah.
and it comes out November 18th.
Mhm.
So how long, like, does it take months or just a couple weeks that you have before you have to fully submit that for editing?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember back when I recorded it, how long that actually took. I wanna say, see, it was different for me because I think I requested more time because I was finishing up a book.
Mhm. Okay.
So it might have taken around 2 to 3 weeks, I wanna say, maybe a little less than that.
Wow.
Um, just because, again, for me, at that time, I was on something else, and so I
Mhm.
needed that extra time to kind of give time to finish that and then hop
Mhm.
on to that book, and that seems to be, like, the story of my life for the last
Yeah.
year, really since ACOTAR has just been like, "Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that." I need kinda time
Yeah.
to finish these up so it's not too chaotic
Mhm.
for
So
my life.
do you even really have to audition anymore, or people just they message you and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do this specific book," or is there, like, books that you're reaching out for that you are interested in?
It's a little bit of both. Like, there are authors that reach out to me, independent authors. There
Mhm.
are, Podium itself and other companies will reach out to me where I still have to audition, so they're interested in me.
Yeah.
And then I still have to submit to see if I'm right for the role, see if my voice is right, and then there's others where it's like, "Hey, we love the voice. Would you do this? You pretty
Yeah.
much got the part. Just if you say yes, you got it.
Yeah, you're in.
You're in." So, it's a little bit of kinda both right now.
Mhm. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a
So
lot.
as far as bonus chapters go, did
Mhm.
you approach Callie about recording those? Or did they approach you? Because I feel like it's not very often we get bonus chapters on audio, first of
Right.
all, or if we do get an audio, it's like bundled into the book itself. It's very rare that I have
Mhm.
seen that it's a separate release, it's its own thing. So
Mm.
I mean they're very important bonus chapters. They say so many things about Quicksilver itself and Brimstone, it comes out as well.
Mhm.
So who brought that up?
I think that was also Podium. I was just another one of those things that I was recording, and they're like, "Hey." bonus chapters, they're getting made. Wanna record? Yes, of course.
Yeah. I say, what happens if you say no?
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't think
they can't
I
replace
don't
you.
I don't think they
Unacceptable.
thought I would say no. I think they were
Right.
just more like, "Hey, just add this to your to-do list,"
Yeah.
because they knew I was gonna definitely say, "Of
Right.
course." Yeah.
Amazing. So I don't know if you can, but you again, you haven't read Brimstone. Are you able to, or do you have any theories about what might happen in Brimstone? Do you have any thoughts or even wishes of what you want to happen in the next book?
Oh, wow. I don't even
And I wrote all the things. I got all the difficult
Yeah.
questions for you
I
today.
I mean, it's so interesting, the whole vampire thing,
Mhm.
and, see, it's weird because and I think this and it's funny, I was talking to a friend of mine this, where it's just like, the books that I act in, I'm now looking through the lens of an actor, and so
Mhm.
it's not even me, like, wishing of the story, even though I love the story, it's always
Right.
just like, "Oh, I'm, like, already thinking of what type of vampire characters do I get to bring to life now if that's gonna
Right.
be a thing? And then where are we gonna go with, the mixing of all this stuff that's happening, and are they gonna go back to try to get her back to her home? Are they going to bring her
Mhm.
brother? Like, there's so many things that I'm just like
Right.
I'm more of just like, "Oh, I would love to yeah, let's go here, let's do that." Um, but yeah, I mean, just the fact that now she's in this predicament where she's, like, the queen,
Mhm.
it's gonna be so interesting to see where that goes, so
Yeah,
I
it's gonna be epic. I have a lot of thoughts about, like, obviously we have a lot of thoughts about what's gonna happen in there. One thing we have theorized on, and
okay.
this is pure speculation because obviously the book's not out yet. We are theorizing there might be pirates in Brimstone.
Really? Okay.
So and be yes, be and the reason this is because in the book, Renfist notes about, like, the Darn and how right, it's frozen and then they have to break the ice, things like that. It used to be used for trade. And so, like, he said that, like, traders would come through and pirates would come through, and I said, "Hello, pirates? Is this foreshadowing? Is this Easter egg here?" So, if there was pirates, let's say hypothetically there's
Yes.
definitely pirates in book 2. Do you have a voice in mind for pirates, or do you think that you would have to, like, conjure something new up with that, or is that something that you have done in the past?
I have done so there's a book called, Secrets of Jane, which is about, a pirate who goes after to find, a specific person, and, it's a group of pirates, and so I do have that in my register or in my mind to
Okay.
kind of
Yeah, he's got
bring
pirates in the repertoire.
yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Yes,
And then
so
another one that you have to bring to life that I'm very excited to hear is the voice of the Drake, right? Omnam Chakrai.
oh, yeah,
Like the dragon. Like
the dragon.
what does a dragon even sound like? Was
Yeah.
that difficult for you to bring, like, was that challenging, or were there any other characters but maybe besides that one, if that one wasn't challenging, that were challenging for you to bring to life in the bonus chapters?
That's a good question because that one out of all of them, I really wanted and even this was something that we discussed, and I wanted to see how deep my voice could go,
Mhm.
because that character was I mean, it's a dragon, it's a
Right.
dragon,
It's
it's supposed to
the
be the
biggest dragon
biggest yeah.
left. The only dragon left supposedly.
So, that one was a challenge just because I had to prep my voice for that, to go as low as I could go, but also be as
Mhm.
big as I could go with that character, so
Right.
and I had a
So
lot of fun
it's
with that.
deeper than Kingfisher's voice.
Yeah, it has to be because I wanted to kinda make that, like, really deep as I could go, so we'll see
Oh,
how
man.
how it sounds.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
That's
It's
why I
gonna
love
be
drag
awesome.
when I saw Dragon, I was like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
let's let's
bet.
let's see how far I can push my voice to
Yeah.
really, really go deep," so we'll see.
It's gonna be good. I'm sure it's gonna be
Yeah.
great. So, if I was reading it correctly, so the bonus, like the Kingfisher point of view chapters, you have the Gate part 1 and part 2, and
Mhm,
then the Fox, the Boots, the Dress. When
mhm.
I read the description, those were the chapters that were coming out. Am I correct that the maze is not in there, or is it in there?
The Maze, I don't think so, yeah, I think it's just those 3 chapters that,
Okay, and
yeah.
that's what I thought as well. The maze is at the end of, like, the Kindle Unlimited version.
Oh.
It's not even in, like, the paperback book that I own.
Mhm.
So, it's in the Kindle one. So I just wasn't sure if that was something that you guys had included, or if you have any thoughts about that, or if you've heard anything about that, or if you even knew about that chapter.
I didn't actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll put it in the I'll send it to you so that way you can read it
Please,
because
yeah.
it's based in when Kingfisher was stuck with Malcolm, right?
Mhm.
Because of the oath and the coin that never dropped, right? So he's
Right.
in basically the maze, right? So he's in the middle of the maze, and he's with all of the millions of coins, and Taladeus is there during that. So it
Oh.
kind of talks a little bit more about like his and Taladeus's relationship and that like they used to be friends. And there's some new characters that we don't hear lines from, but we hear the name of.
Mm.
So it'll be like I think that those I'm guessing that those characters will be in Brimstone. So one of them was a female character, so I think it might be more on Stella, like whether or not
Bring to
she'll
life,
be
yeah.
bringing that character to life because
Yeah.
she is going to be in Brimstone with you, as far
Mhm.
as I know. So yeah, I'll send you the chapters. Maybe if you want to read them, you can.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Now
It,
that
it
now
answers a lot of questions. It brings a lot of things forward. I don't
oh,
want to give
that's
you too
great.
many spoilers.
No, no, yeah, that's good to know, and I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I think you might like to read them. So which out of the bonus chapters that you did, which one was your favorite?
That's a good one.
Between like the gate and or the fox, the boots, the dress. Part 1 or part 2?
Hmm.
Or you can mold them together too, that's fine.
Yeah, I think each one has its own one part that I'm just really, like, excited about. Um, well, you said we can do spoilers because people have read it, right?
Yes, yeah, bonus chapters are read, they're out. You can say all the things.
So definitely the introduction to the dragon and them fighting, that whole thing,
Mhm.
the whole thing of, like, get it to the other side of the gate.
Yeah.
That was, then again, Carrion and Kingfisher meeting up.
Mhm.
So there was like I think every chapter there was something there that I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good to
Yeah.
try to bring to life. Like this is epic." It definitely has like that epic feel, especially around the gate part. Like there's just this epic feeling of this battle.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a battle before, obviously, we lost Morel, like, Danya is
Yeah.
seen in a different light
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, right? So, like, in Quicksilver, we see Danya in such a bad light because we only see her from Cerys's perspective, and
Yeah.
Danya wasn't there when Cerys and Kingfisher were getting to know each other and going through all of these things and all of these moments, so I feel
Yeah.
like the bonus chapters really give her a new light,
A
and
new
I
light.
think that Callie Hart wrote her specifically that way, and
Yeah.
I fight for Danya. I want Danya to get grace. So I fight for her, but I also, like, fight for Nesta too. So
Oh,
that's
really?
just
Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
Nesta's my girl. That's just who I am. It's I get it.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
argue, but I bring receipts. So I think Danya deserves grace, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay if you don't have a favorite one. All of the bonus chapters are my favorite, so I won't judge you if you don't have
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't
and
have one.
and again, it's one of those things that it's just hard because, again, as an actor, there's and I guess that's a testament to, like, Callie's work and, the books that I've been, b just been lucky to be a part of.
Mhm.
The reason why I tell them this, I'm like, "The reason why my performance is so good, it's just, like, I'm reading the words and they're flowing, they've written their characters so well that I'm just amplifying what's on the page." And
Yeah.
so if it wasn't there, it would be harder for me to kind of bring that to life. And
Mhm.
so every time I'm doing their work, especially like even the bonus chapters, is like every time I'm reading a chapter, I'm like, "Oh, that's good. Oh, that makes sense. Oh,
Right.
that's really good." So it just makes it, I don't wanna say easier, but it definitely helps my
Mhm.
performance when it's already there on the page and I'm just like amplifying what's already there. So
Yeah. Is there a book that you have done where you're, like, halfway through or quarter through and you are not connecting with it and you have to push through it? Or are you is
hmm.
it does it come easy to you with that? Or, like, what do you do if you have a book that you're not really resonating with that well or
I
connecting with?
I wouldn't say that I wasn't resonating with. I think there was a book that it was early in my career that it was like really a long book.
Mhm.
And so it's funny because I don't know if you heard this, but like in the voice actor world, they're saying like there's always a saying that audiobook narrators is like a marathon
Oh,
because
no.
yeah,
Why
so
is that?
Because in every other kind of way, whether it be animation or, commercials or anything like that, you're kinda in and out. Like, you're there for 60-second spot of commercials, or your time on it is very quick, or even if you're doing, an animation,
Mhm.
yes, you have a series, but you're there for about an hour or 2, and then that's it, you're done and you kinda
Right.
go. Whereas audiobooks is like, you're narrating everything, you're also doing all the characters, and you're
Mhm.
doing this for about, 500, 600, 700 pages, 300 pages, so your voice, the time, everything is stretched out over
Yeah.
weeks, days, that it takes a lot to kind of
Mhm.
remember and keep that same pace going, and so, when I was doing my first book, that was like I think it was like 500 or 600 pages,
Mhm.
um, and it was just like day 4 or 5, and I was just like, "Where am I? What's going on?"
What's happening? What
I
day is it?
and I got freaked out because I was like, "Oh my god, wait, why is this character saying this? Oh, right, 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 because of what happened before and right, right, right." And
Yeah.
it was good because I learned from that, and now moving on to, like, other projects that are a little bit longer,
Mhm.
I can write down stuff or do stuff that gets me right back into it.
Yeah, to, like, be
Um,
able to categorize it and
yeah.
space it out. Is it normally like a 40-hour work week? Or is it like you work, like, a couple hours here a day, a couple hours here there a day? I mean, like, talking for 8 to 10 hours a day, I feel like would be a lot.
No, yeah, and then so you would spread it out. So it'd be like sometimes you do 2 hours one day, 3 hours the next, or
Mhm.
if you're a little behind, you do 5 hours one day.
Right? Yeah, and
If you're
I
trying to
think you're
catch
telling me
up,
to speak from
yeah.
experience.
If you're trying to catch up, you're like, "Alright, today's like a 6-hour day."
Yeah, you gotta push
Um,
through.
yeah. So it varies, but usually you spread it out and, and sometimes you have other things that you're doing, so you might if you ask for more time, it's usually because you can do 1 or 2 hours for this day, and then you might
Mhm.
not get back to it till, like, over a long weekend.
Right,
So you're
okay.
away from it, and then you go back and you're like, "Oh, wait, right, that was, like,
Mhm.
4 days ago. Where am I? What chapter?
Yeah.
What did I say before?" And I try to not take a break in between chapters because sometimes, especially if you're ramping up to an emotional scene and you're like,
Mhm.
"Alright, well, I'll come back to this 5 days later." Well,
Yeah,
you better make sure that emotion is back when you're there because
right.
you may not be able to get there that quick. So I try to finish off an arc where I'm like, "Okay, this
Mhm.
character's intense for, like, these next 3 chapters. So let me try to finish these 3, take the break that I need to, and then I
Mhm.
can come back and it's not as crazy as if I'm like, 'Wait, what's going on? Who
Yeah.
died? And why am I crying now? And what's going on?'"
Why
So
am I crying? No, that makes sense. That makes
yeah.
sense. No, I don't think I've ever thought of it like that. And then do you go on, like, do you vocal rest at all? Like, I know sometimes in the career that Alyssa and I are in, we talk all day, every day to, like, so many people that there's times where I'm like, I can't. I'm not saying words right now. I need a moment." So, are you ever on vocal rest?
Only if I'm doing a lot of yelling. So if there's a
Okay.
chapter where there is a lot of yelling, I
Mhm.
know my voice the next day will not be it needs at least a day to kinda recover
Yeah.
to to just smooth it out. Like, I could do it, but I'm just like, if I can give myself a day, I'll put
Mhm.
myself on a day of vocal rest. Don't speak, don't take phone calls, just get it right back
Yeah.
and get it ready for the next
Text only.
text
Yeah,
only
no
because
speaking. Okay, all right. And then do you have family that or, like, friends that are in the like, that read and love Quicksilver as much as the Quicksilver fandom does? Or are they not really in the romantasy kinda thing? The reason I'm asking this question is because I wanna know if if people try to get out secrets from you about the next book, or if you have
um
to keep it under, like, lock and I know you have to keep it under lock and key, but are people trying?
I definitely have friends who are into romantasy in general,
Mhm.
and they are, like, ecstatic that I'm even voicing some of these books. They're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's crazy." They're actually asking, like, "What book am I doing next?" So it's
That's a
not
good
e
question. Do you have
yeah,
a book that you are working on right now that you can
I
tell
can't
us?
say,
Can't tell us.
I
Okay. All
can't,
right.
yeah. But that's exactly the question that they would ask. They'd be like, "What book? What book? What book?" "I can't say right now, I can't say right now." Um, but nothing in particular for, like, Quicksilver or, ACOTAR, but they're always asking for that. They're always just like and it's so funny because they're you know, they're so nice about it, like, they're like, "Okay, the first time I got it to a spicy scene, it was a little odd because I know you since, like, we were kids, so this
Right.
is weird, but I got over it, and it's fine. It's the character, it's
Yeah.
fine." So,
Yeah, they were able to separate it.
that was interesting the
Okay.
first time that they heard that, they were just like, "You did a great job, I just listened to the first spicy scene, I needed a minute, I needed a minute.
I need
Okay,
a
I'm
minute.
I'm I'm back, I'm back."
That's awesome. Was it hard for you to get into that kind of stuff? Because I know that you said at first you weren't, like, you weren't doing the romantasy audio. When you
Yeah.
did it take you a while to get used to that kind of stuff? Are you used to it now, or is it still a little, like, weird sometimes? Or where are you at with those kind of scenes? Because there's some pretty crazy ones in all of these
Yeah.
series.
I don't know, it's funny because I don't think I was ever like, "Oh, how am I gonna do it?" I think I was more nervous of, like, hope I'm doing this fine."
Right.
And then it was just confident of, like, "Yeah, no, I get where it should
Mhm.
go." Um, so, yeah, it was never really, you have those moments where there are some spicy scenes and I'm just laughing at myself. I'm like, because I'm in a box by myself,
Right.
imagining that I have to connect, and so I'm just like, "This is so." If there
Yeah.
was a camera right now, it just looks so weird of just, like, having this, like, one-on-one moment with the air and just being, like, making believe that I have to connect to somebody that's not there, so, um,
That's
but
hilarious.
yeah, but it's I have fun with those scenes because I know that, that's part of the gig, that's part of the gig,
Mhm.
so I never
W
really looked at it as, like,
Yeah.
"What is this?" It's just like, yeah, that's the whole part of this, so.
Amazing. Well, and you've set high expectations for a lot of men out there, like, with the voice, because there's now a lot of, like, women that are like, a husband or spouse or
Hello?
partner, like,
Yeah.
Here's this voice, I would like you to mimic it, please, and thank you." So you have set expectations pretty high with that. So we know that we've done a great job. All the scenes are wonderful.
Thank you, thank you. Oof,
I don't know
that's
if you knew that. There's, like, women out there that are like, okay, so there's here's I'm gonna play it for you right now.
yeah,
This is what I need you to sound like."
match this voice.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny, I saw some TikToks where, like, their husbands are trying to match my voice, and they're trying to read the same, like, things. So
Oh, really?
I'm always just like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's cool. That's,
Are there some where you're like, "Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, there's some where I'm like, "Yeah, that actually almost sounds close
It
to what
kinda
I did.
works."
Yeah, wow."
Don't
Um,
tag him. You need job security.
yeah.
Can't be replaced. Don't share them.
Right, right.
Don't share those ones. No, that's awesome. I do see some online where it's like, they're playing the video or the audio of it to
Yes,
their husband
yes,
or whatever for the first time ever,
yes,
and you
I've
just see
seen
the
that.
husband's facial expression like,
Shocked.
"What's happening? What
Yeah.
are you listening to?"
"What is this?" Yeah, it's
Yeah,
always that's the
"What?
first line. "What is this?"
What is this? Where did this come from?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Amazing. So, would you be willing to do one of the lines for us from either Quicksilver or the bonus chapters?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Whenever you're all right.
Alright.
Whenever you're ready, our Kingfisher line.
I gotta get in Kingfisher mode. Alright. "You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty. You've got me, little Osha, and I've got you."
I'm gonna pass away. R.I.P. Dallas. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Good
Yes.
lines, good lines,
Round of
very good
applause.
lines.
Woo!
Very good
This
lines,
is
very good
wild.
lines.
I'm on cloud 9. I don't know where do we go from here? That was fabulous. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing that for us.
Thank you, thank you. No,
Oh
it's
my
very good
gosh.
line, very good line.
That was amazing. Woo! That was awesome. Okay. Thank you for doing that. I'm so happy right now. So thank you again for being on our podcast.
Thank you.
The bonus chapters come out on July 1st. They are for
July
sale
1st.
on Audible. I don't know if they're still on sale. They were on sale a little bit earlier. They were less than $2. So
Mm,
there's no excuses for you guys not to get this. Other
yeah.
than the fact that they are an amazing chapters and you should read them and then listen to them and then read them while you listen to them once more. That's my advice for you. So my name is Dallas, and thank you for watching Goodish Girls. Do you want to sign us off, Anthony?
Hi, this is Anthony. You've been listening to me on the Goodish Girls podcast, and I had a great time. Come on, subscribe. Listen to more episodes. They're fun, and I had a great time on here. You can follow me on social media on pretty much I'm the same in every one of them. It's at Palmini. And again, thanks for listening.
Can't get enough of the Goodish Girls? Follow us on social media for sneak peeks at our upcoming episodes and bonus content.